1986. What a time to be a Christian County colonel if you weighed 98 pounds. Our guest here today checks all those boxes. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Dave Donley. Yeah, I was so proud to be a part of that 1986 team.
And of course, the 1986 98-pound state wrestling champion representing those red, white, and blue Colonels. Now, as of this filming, this is April 24th, 2024. Christian County has 25 individual state champions. You make video number 21, and we spoke, like I said, as of this filming, yesterday evening with 1987 state champion Marcus Turnley. So that'll put us with, when we get his video up, 22 of the 25 Christian County state champions. 1972 Frank McWilliams. We've been told that Mr. McWilliams is still, of course, with us, and we're efforting to get with him. I was told he's not big on social media, so we're trying to go around and find some of his connections. We're still looking for 1984 video of Jimmy Perrin, and I believe that we're going to be doing a memorial video for 1985 Antonio Earthman, and that will be the entirety of the Christian County State Championship roster on the YouTube series. And I know Christian County, man, they have a great tradition. 1988 team state champions, 1986, 1987, 2020 team state runner-up. So I have to ask you, and we've asked everybody this question, but especially it rings true to the Christian County, Hopkinsville area guys. Man, what's in the water down there? What made you guys so good in the mid-'80s and late 80s down there?
Man, we had some coaches for sure. Dedicated and just working hard, man. I don't think anybody knew anything else, and the coaches brought the best out in us for sure. Coach Aaron was amazing, man.
Yeah, I mean the debate could go on, and there's really, I don't want to say no way to prove it, but for a time, and I don't want to say Christian County as the school, but Christian County as, the whole
Location.
With Coach Perrin and Coach Placer, there probably wasn't two better coaches in the same county in the state of Kentucky. There's been great coaches across the years. Your Ken Ellenbrands at Trinity, your Mike Bancampers at Campbell County, your Wayne Bedittas at Connor, Joe and Rusty Parks at Woodford. But to have two coaches like that had team state championships like they did back-to-back, the number of individual state champions out of the same county, that's unheard of, which Christian County is the second largest county in the state, a great number of students to pull from, but still, you got to get the kids out, and you got to get them trained enough to where they can be a state champion. They're not just going to hand it over and be like, oh, wow, we see Christian County on your singlet, man, here, take it. We don't want, Hopkinsville, here, we surrender. No, I mean, you're going to have to go out and earn it. And it's just like I said, we've got so many Christian County, Hopkinsville guys on the channel, and everybody kind of has their own story. I think everybody's brought up their coaches at some point, but just, the hard work and just being tough, man, being tough, that's a big prerequisite. So how do you find wrestling, man? What gets you into it?
Oh, man. So I had way too much energy. And I had an older brother who knew that, and he was wrestling when he was in 7th and 8th grade. He picked it up and said, this is a great sport, 4 years older than me. And so I started wrestling. I was going to go when I was in 3rd grade. I went to one practice. That practice happened to be canceled, and I got mad at my brother for something else. So I was like, I'll show him. And I didn't go back. I'm sure that taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
3rd grader's mind, I'm sure it did. But I started wrestling for the junior high, the 7th and 8th grade team when I was in 4th grade, and just loved it. Was like, this is fantastic. Just love being able to go out there and compete one-on-one, not have my fate determined really by anybody else, and, be able to give it all I had.
And that's so many people have said that about getting into wrestling. They may have, like, not every, especially, what year would this have been roughly? 82, 83, something to that effect,
Uh,
81?
80 was the first year that I wrestled, I think.
Okay. I can imagine, and there's no way to have an accurate number on this or an accurate account or whatever, but I can't imagine there was too many youth or middle school wrestling programs in Kentucky in 1980. I just can't imagine there was more. And this is just me completely guessing, but I'm going to say if there was 10, I'd be surprised.
And I was in Illinois at the time.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and so there was actually there were a couple of different systems. There was an Illinois Kids Wrestling Federation, and there was a Illinois Elementary School or something like that. So there were two different systems. They had a state championship and everything. So
Okay.
it was a decent amount of people in that state, at least.
So what year did you come to Kentucky?
I came to Kentucky in I guess it would have been early '85.
Okay. All right. That that I completely get that. We done. You guys have saw Tom Lee's 87 and 88, and his brother Andy Lee's 86. They said they come from Pennsylvania, and they had wrestling, youth wrestling in Pennsylvania. They moved to Arkansas, where they moved to. There was no wrestling. Their family moved again, and I mean, I'm not saying they chose Christian County for wrestling, but that's where they moved to. Christian County had wrestling. They picked up, ran with the football, as the old saying goes. So, but back to the 1980. Like I said, there might have been maybe 10 programs. Now, just about every county has some type of youth elementary wrestling, whether it's school sponsored, like a club or a team or whatever. So the sport in Kentucky is growing. It's good to see. And now, in the time that we live in, if you're watching this and you're in high school, middle school, and you didn't start young, that's not an excuse to not come out if you want to try it. But you look at the state champion, state placers now, just about everybody started in elementary school, middle school at the latest. And you can tell the quality of wrestling's improved. It's just exponentially. You can go back through the years and watch the styles change in Kentucky. You can watch the scrambling really kind of come in like you see in college now. It's starting to filter down to high school. So it's good to have all these videos, all these state finals videos, the reviews with our prior state champions, just to have history documented of our journey of how far we've come, where we started to where we've come to now. We have the video of the 1969 state finals, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's funny to watch, but you watch it, you're just like, man, if these guys knew 3 moves, they would be hammers. And now, you got kids scrambling for a minute and a half, minute 45 seconds before giving up a takedown. And you're just like, wow, we are, we're on our way. So you come to Kentucky, you get into Christian County's program. I guess 85 moving in, you would be a freshman, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, 1986 though is your year. This is one of those outlier years that Kentucky had the semi-state. We had the format. In case you're not familiar, back then the format was district tournament, regional tournament, semi-state, and then state tournament was an 8-man bracket. So you had a month of competing at the kind of the win or go home mentality. And that's, well, I guess 3 weeks of it, the state tournament, once you're there, no matter what happens, it's your last tournament regardless. But man, 3 weeks of having to keep yourself hyped up, that's kind of a grind, isn't it?
It is, but it was kind of a fun one. Somebody pointed out to me, and I didn't think about it until after it was all over. Once they did away with the semi-states, that I was the only, because they only did it for those 2 years. I was the only 98-pound champion in our side of the semi-states because I won it both years. So that was kind of a funny little quirk.
Yeah, no, that's excellent little piece of history. Now, for those you might be new to the wrestling party in Kentucky. When Miss Rona was doing her shenanigans, KHSAA, we did have semi-states. We had them 21, 22, and 23, but we didn't have the districts tournaments got kind of abolished in 2002. We went from a 16-man bracket to a 32-man bracket in 2002. Now we're down to we're back, I should say, to a 32-man bracket. But let's talk about your 86 state championship run. And of course, as always, we have the bracket here. And I've actually got it wrote on my notes. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. You start off the state tournament, 1986, against some guy named Kurt Zinga from Campbell County. And of course, Kurt's already on the channel, 1990 state champion, 160 pounds from Campbell County. But it says you win a 6-5 decision. Do you remember much about that match?
So what the biggest thing that I remember is that it was 6-3, and they gave him 2 at the very end, and they waved it off, but they still wrote the 6-5 on the bracket. And I was like, well, I don't really care. I won one way or the other. But I don't remember much about the match. I just remember I was up 6-3, and then he got a takedown as the buzzer went off. I think it was a takedown or reversal, but I think it was a takedown at the very end there.
Huh. Kurt must have hit a growth spurt, because he went from 98 pounds as a freshman to 160 as a senior. You know, that's a pretty good. I have to message him and say, hey man, you remember this match? What's going on? You know, get his side of the story. You know what I mean? But you win that by 6. We'll go with the 6-3. You were there. If it's wrote down on the bracket 6-5, we'll say it was 6-3, and let the chips fall where they may. You get to the semifinals. You're wrestling Eric Adams. I believe that's from West Hardin before Central Hardin combined. You win that by another 1 point. In theory, 1 point, 9-8. You remember much about that?
What I remember is I was down. I'm pretty sure I was down 5-0 at the end of the first. He took me down to my back, and I was there. And I remember Coach cheering me on and being like, "All right, shake that off. Let's go." And I remember, I couldn't tell you if I went back through the rest of my high school career from 86 on, at least, I probably never gave up 8 points in another match. So he scored a lot on me. And I remember shaking his hand at the end of the match, and I remember him being kind of disgusted, which if I had lost by 1 to go to the state championship, I probably would have been too. But he was like, I should have won. Or I should have beat you. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I was kind of like, why didn't you then? You know, I was kind of cocky at the moment, and I'm like headed to state, and I was kind of disgusted with that. But he gave me a heck of a match, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's don't get me wrong, I'm glad that we have the state finals videos, and as of this filming, I want to say thank you to Harrison Courtney. He found the 2008 state finals. So now, as of this filming, we have 39 of the 61 years of the state championship, final round. But some of these semifinals, and some of these matches, I'd love to have just a little bit of a clip just to, go back and play, just to insert for B-roll, just about, like I got took down at the last second, or what, just to have, just to watch. But you're coming into the state finals with a record of 33-8, respectable record, and you are wrestling from Simon Kenton, Chuck Reimer.
Yep.
And he gets there. Chuck beats Doug Rothert from East Hardin. He beats John Wyan from Connor, which John goes on in 1989, I believe, and wins state championship. But I found this, and you might be able to help us out. Of course, we haven't done Chuck's video. We've talked to Chuck. We're going to do it. We haven't done his state championship. He went in 87. But his record, it says, is 44, 1, and 1 tie. Do you remember being able to tie in wrestling back then?
Yes, I do remember that. That was a possibility back then.
Kind of walk us through that, because that's kind of a unheard of thing nowadays. What was the criteria on that?
I'm trying to remember if you went into overtime or not. I remember having a tie in my 87 season. I had one tie. And I can't remember. I remember when it happened for me, but I can't remember if we had to go. I think it was just your 3 periods were up. You guys were tied. You may have gone to another period. I can't remember that for sure. And then it was done.
Well, that would be I wonder what they would do if it was a state championship match. Hey, you both win, or
No,
you know
I
what I
think
mean?
then you just kept on going until somebody scored.
No, yeah, I got you. I just did. I saw that and I was like, I wonder if Dave remembers anything about that.
That was
Now,
probably just dual meets.
probably that was a nit. I saw. I was like, I bet they've done a duel or something, and they just you're tied. Deal with it. Learn to score more points than the other person first. Um, had you wrestled Chuck before? Because Simon Kenton, Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. You guys are almost to the Mississippi River. That's the thing about the state of Kentucky, man. It is so just spread out and elongated that, and especially Simon Kenton is a border state, or border
Mhm.
state, border school. They can go Ohio, they can go Indiana, and really see different competition about and Kentucky, of course. But you guys, Christian County, you got Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, all that right there. That's probably, I don't know, what, 2 hours. You could be just about every state like that in 2 hours. So
Yeah.
outside the state finals or the state tournament, you may not have saw other teams maybe east of Louisville, east of wherever, east of Lexington, north of Lexington. So did you kind of like scouting? Did you know anything about Simon Kenton wrestling then, or?
There was really no way to scout for the most part. Not like today for sure. I
Well,
mean,
let me add a little bit more context so the jury can understand, Your Honor. Did you watch him wrestle like any matches that at the tournament, or did you like watch his semifinals, or how did that go?
I don't think I even got to watch his semifinals. So I don't think I ever saw him. We didn't see Simon Kenton anywhere but state. We went up to Woodford County for a big tournament around the holidays. And we had big tournaments down in Tennessee that we'd go to. And of course, other places around Kentucky, but we never got to see Simon Kenton. So all my 3 years that I was there at Christian County, we didn't get to see Simon Kenton until state.
Okay, that's kind of, and kids, believe it or not, we always used to have one of these in our pockets. You could pull up and watch them on TikTok or Flow or Track Wrestling, or send them a Snapchat or whatever. I mean, if you just wasn't in the building, chances are you didn't see them.
Yep.
And there was no tape trading, there was no YouTube, there was nothing like that. And maybe every now and then, if a school was close, you might send a couple of scouts out. If somebody had a video camera, filmed it, or even took notes on their kids or whatever. But even then, information was scarce. Information was not as easily accessible as what, and I hate to use the word kids, but if you're in high school, when you hit to get a certain age and kids are still in school, they're still kind of kids to you. It's hard for them to wrap their heads around not being able to communicate with their buddies across the entire state, instead of just seeing them maybe once or twice a year at tournaments or whatever. So let's kind of get back here to the semifinals. You win that semifinals. You win a pretty close match, 9-8. Knowing that you're going into the state finals, talk to us. What's going through your head as a sophomore there?
Man, my head, I'm just sitting there thinking, this is it. This is the thing you've been training for the last, it felt like your whole life. This is what you're going for. And I'll say one other thing about the bracket. John Bingham is, sorry about that. John Bingham, I think he lost to maybe same guy he ended up running third place. but he beat me 4 times throughout the year. And I think my record, did you say 33-8 or 33-6?
33-8 is what the bracket has
Okay.
coming into the finals.
So he beat me 4 times and I beat him twice. So I expected to be wrestling him in the finals because I was like, man, this kid is good. He beat me twice, I beat him once, and then he beat me like district and regionals, and then I beat him semi-state. So we was meeting the finals, and I just thought he's probably going to be the guy I have to beat one more time to be a state champ. So when he went down a little bit earlier, I was pretty darn surprised. And then I had no idea what I was getting into with Chuck.
Just kind of a little bit of context. Bingham actually loses in the first round an 8-4 decision to John Wine of Connor. He goes on and he beats Wine in the fourth place match 6-4. So they went, I guess, 1-1. But yeah, sometimes the looking foreshadowing in the bracket, if you will. Okay, this is probably who I'm going to be wrestling. This is who I'm going to be, whatever. And then that person, like you said, gets beat or whatever. And then your whole game plan's thrown off. Like, wait a second, this is not how it's supposed to be. I wasn't expecting this. What? No, it's got to be the other person. I was mentally ready to wrestle this guy. So it's always a fun game to play. Who you're going to be wrestling, or who should beat who, or who you've beat. Oh yeah, I got this guy. Come on, what we doing? Now,
yeah.
Like I said, Chuck's coming in 44-1-1. You're coming in 33-8. Not wrestled each other. Has it been a while since you've seen your state finals video?
It has. I have a recording of it, but I saw it maybe 10 or 15 years ago was the last time I pulled it out.
Okay. We got this copy. We actually went up, talking about John Wine from Connor. We actually went up to Connor and done videos. We done Matt Shotwell, 84, 85, Dr. Matt Shotwell, I should say. Rob Madden, I don't know if you remember Rob Madden. He was from Connor, 86 state champion. Richie Parker, 86 state champion.
Remember him?
And had the Mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richie, of course, I forget what weight he was, but we got it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I was holding a bar of gold. I was like, oh my God, it's one of the years I didn't have. And I just love, you guys are seeing the list of the videos that I currently have. If you have a year that I don't, please reach out to me. I'm easy to find. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Message me. I have a lot of friends that across the state that can get you in contact with me. If you can't get up with me, I got Christian County contacts, Hopkinsville, Simon Kenton, Woodford, St. X, Trinity, you name it. If there's a school in Kentucky that's got wrestling, I've got connections there that I message people, try to get guys lined up or finding videos. So feel free to reach out if you come across a video. But we're going to pull up your state finals match here, man. We are at Louisville, Atherton High School. And for those watching, outside of the state wrestling tournament being held there from 1974 to 1995, this is where famous rapper Jack Harlow went to high school. He's actually got a video he filmed at a couple scenes in front of Atherton High School, so that's its claim to fame. But man, it's a cold February night, 1986. Let's go back.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the wrestlers participating in the final round of this year's tournament. Wrestling in the 98-pound weight class, he's a sophomore. He has a 33-8 record. He's from Christian County. His name is Donley.
Camera work wasn't what it is nowadays. I love those warm-ups you guys have.
Yeah.
That's so 1980s, man. I love it.
Very 80s.
Of course, you got the red singlet on.
Yep.
Double knee pads. All right, here from neutral, what's your go-to takedowns? What are we looking to do here?
I'm going for a double, and I'm trying to shoot first almost every match because I felt like I was in control, and if I could get a hold of a leg, that leg wasn't getting away. I might not get the takedown, but I wasn't going to give it up probably.
I got you. Right there, you got another shot in. He's able to defend cross-facing pretty good. Were you pretty close to 98 pounds, or was it a big cut for you, or?
It wasn't a big cut, but it was definitely a cut.
Okay. He steps in, tries for that inside trip, and gets a takedown on you. But you belly out there, working up to your base, out of bounds.
Yep.
So kind of you get took down there. The old saying, you got to get punched before you know you're in a fight.
Right.
You don't look to be rattled.
No, I had so much energy. I was always just ready to go.
I got you. You're trying for like a standing switch there.
Yep. Thought I was going to get it there, but I didn't.
Just trying to lock up a cradle. Nothing. Trying for that inside trip. Now right there, you've done a really good job of stepping over.
Yep.
You're still. Got a headgear fix. So it's 3-2. Somewhere the referee gave a reversal that I'm not sure I would give, but it's all right. Sometimes you gotta let it burn, Mr. Official.
That's the other reason I tried to shoot, is because people always got in deep on me when I let them shoot. I was too slow.
Now these red singlets, is that your guys' final singlets?
I think that was our standard for the most part.
Because we've got some videos from the 80s where guys have like a really dark navy blue with like a red trim, and then we got some with this. I didn't know if that was. You see that big blue thing laying in the background over there?
Yes.
Looks like Grimace from the Muppets or from McDonald's. That's actually Simon Kenton's wrestling mascot.
Okay.
They had their own wrestling mascot. Somebody sent me a photo that was actually in their yearbook. So you're going to take down.
Yep.
You've wrestled 2 minutes. Had you kind of figured out?
I could get away.
That's what I was going. That's what you kind of lead into. You kind of figured out what he was good at, or what you could do with him, or.
Yeah, I pretty much always took down, because takedowns weren't like, I wasn't a specialist at takedowns or anything. But I felt like I could always get away. I rode people pretty well, but I feel like you got the benefit when you're down there. You got the ability to get away.
Right.
He had a nice tight waist on me, had my arm, fighting back up.
There it is. And the cheerleaders that you're hearing, that's Christian County's mat maids, man. They did not stop. I mean, every state finals video that we've done that Christian County had mat maids, you can hear them from the time the whistle blows till it's over. I mean, they do not stop. Now, is this your corner over here to the left, or is that his corner?
Oh, that's my corner.
Okay. Who's in there with it? Coach Perrin and who else?
Coach Lancaster, Kurt Lancaster.
Okay. So now you've got a cradle locked up, like a near side cradle. Kids, never let your knee get by your head. You'll get cradled. There it is. You get your takedown, and something the referee in me sees. The referees aren't wearing wristbands.
Yep. And then I'm working for an arm bar, trying to work for it's like a stack, a tilt, whatever I can get.
There it is. You got that arm through. You get out. Well, you're trying to work out to the side to get a turn there.
couldn't get out as front as much as I wanted to because we'd go out of bounds, it looks like.
Yeah. Sometimes that 28-foot circle just feels small, don't it?
It does.
Now, do you have a lot of like, family here in the crowd?
My coach had me go to the other side to mount him.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it.
And
coach said to do it. That's what you do. And I gave up a couple points here at the very end of the period, if I remember right.
So it's tied 5-5. It's going to be his choice going into the third. He's going to take down.
And fighting. And to capture that leg, I'd always stay on that leg as much as I could.
We're out of bounds. 1 point, we're neutral.
Yep.
He's now up 6-5.
Just barely got a hold of a leg, so he didn't get control.
Yeah. Step over. Nope.
Quite get there.
No, stalemate. We're neutral.
That what happened?
Yeah, stalemate.
Yep.
So we got 1:05 left.
There. I knew we were going to go for another takedown here. I knew that. I felt like earlier in the match he had exposed his neck a little bit. I ended up getting a chance to get it here.
Oh, there it is. Sit through.
And I remember sitting right here thinking, I've got the state championship wrapped up, but I'm looking over into my coach's corner, and we still had a chance to win the team state championship. So he told me to sit up so I could maybe get the extra points for a pin. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. I was afraid I was going to lose him if I did, but I was like, I'll do it because we needed it for the team.
Yeah. There it is. You get the pin. Third period. 1986, 98-pound state champion.
And Coach Perrin only let us stick our finger up for number one if we won the state. So everybody had to take advantage of that.
Absolutely, man. It's a rare opportunity, man. Excellent performance there. Excellent performance. And this is the medal ceremony. There's John Wine getting his medal from Connor.
In third place is a 98 from Union County, John Bingham.
There's Mr. Bingham coming up, you referenced earlier.
Yep.
The runner-up for 1986 is a 98 weight class from Simon County, Chuck Reimer.
Looks like that was Coach Perrin giving John Bingham his medal.
1986 state champion of the 98s, David Donley of Christian County.
And here you come. And the camera doesn't pan over.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but we do have the team trophy presentation for runner-up here.
Receive your award, Mr. Lewis. Now coming in second place, finishing with 101.5 points, Christian County. Ladies and gentlemen, the top team for 1986.
That's where this one ends, man. Watching it back, man, outside of course, you win, and does it play out, the scoring and everything, the way you remember it?
Yeah, I remember being down, and I remember getting that last takedown. I couldn't remember exactly how we got to the point and how far down I was. But I remember it being a back and forth battle, heck of a battle. And I remember getting that last takedown and going, okay, this is it. All I got to do is sit here. And then coach saying, okay, nope, sit up just a little bit and you probably get the pin. You know, it's kind of what he was motioning. And got that, and it happened. So
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, man, it was it really was a good match back and forth with you guys. You working on top, him able to get a couple takedowns, reversal there, a couple escapes. We had the team trophy presentation. You guys come in second place, and those daggone Hopkinsville Tigers, man, they won it. Of course, 85 Hopkinsville won it. 86 they won it. You guys, 86 runner-up, 87 runner-up, and you're able. Of course, I don't think you were on the team. Were you on the team? Yeah, you were on the team in 88, 1988 team state champions.
Yep.
So you had.
Hey, Jack, move out of the way, okay? Hey, Mike. Really? My sentiments exactly, Jack.
This great Christian County squad being right there so close to winning the team title back-to-back years, falling to Hopkinsville 86, Simon Kenton 87, and then climbing the top of the mountain in 88. It's got to be a good feeling going out on top as a senior. But you were a sophomore here, and we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the rest of your career. And our good friend Jeff Everman from Simon Kenton, he got a little bit of, I guess, payback, if you will, for his teammate. 1987, 98 pounds. Of course, Jeff's videos on the channel. You run into Jeff in the state finals, and of course he wins by fall in that match.
Yep.
And I brought up earlier that it was on the channel. So if your heart can take it, man, you can go back and watch it. I'll be sure to tag Jeff in this video. But again, like we said, you come in second place. Christian County comes in second as a team to Simon Kenton. 1988, 112 pounds as a senior. You get to the quarters. Ricky Fowler of Doss.
Yep.
He wins a 4-2 decision. Then, and I wrote it down right there, John Wine's name. You get to the fourth place match, and John wins a 3-2 decision over you. So, not excellent career, man. First, second, fourth, huh?
I don't believe it was John Wyan in that fourth place match. It might have been, but what school was that?
Connor.
Honor. I mean, you got it written down there. I guess it was. I didn't realize that I had wrestled him before. I knew him because I had gone to something else where I had talked to somebody on at his school that knew him and was like, oh yeah, you guys will probably end up wrestling sometime, kind of thing. And then we ended up meeting in state there. So didn't realize that was John Wyan again.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why, man, I love having the brackets and the history, just for, given as much history as I possibly can. That way we can start connecting the dots. You know what I mean? That's one of the beauties of the series. And the 1988, man, you guys had a great squad. We've done Darren Parker's video. Arvell Banks is on that as well. Yeah, Tom Lee. Tom Lee was on that. Just a phenomenal crew, man. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've turned over a lot of stones, if you will. If there's anything that we haven't brought up or anything you'd like to add, take away, anything like that you'd like to say, man, the floor is yours.
And that 86 team and all those Christian County and Hoptown teams. I wasn't a part of those, obviously. I wasn't part of the Hoptown teams, but the Christian County teams, that 86 team, we had 8 state champions on that team. Not obviously that year, but that's a lineup. And yeah, there were some incredible people, both people and wrestlers. Pretty amazing. And I wouldn't want to go to battle with anybody else.
No, I get it. And we've said it in just about every video, but you walk in, not just Christian County, but I wrestled in school. I wasn't near as good as you guys. Been officiating for the last 18 years. I've been all over the state, just about every gym that has wrestling. And you walk in, some schools embrace it, like your Johnson Centrals, your Christian counties, Woodford County, Union County, all they embrace it. Some schools, you wouldn't even know they had a wrestling program, let alone state champions. You walk in and you might see one little plaque in a trophy case with the names. And no offense to any other sport, but some sports can win the district title, go to state in whatever sport, and they get like a huge photo up in their gym, a banner. They're having a parade downtown. Wrestling has a state champion or team champions. They might get, an assembly at school or whatever. And it's great that this series is able to bring the trophy cases around the state to life. Like you're all like Christian County, you walk in right there up those little steps, you go in, the gym right there in front of you. It's got all the NBA players and college players and retired jerseys right there. Then to the left, right there across from the concession stand, is the wrestling trophy case. And they've had to add, a lot of photos are in there. And I went down, took some photos of it. It's a really nice trophy case. But for years, your Arnold Slaughters, your Tom Lees, your Andy Lees, your David Donleys, your Marcus Turnley, Darren Parkers, Arvell Banks, name whoever, Desmond Wilford, Grady Peterson, Sean Smith, Tulu, whoever it is.
Yeah.
All there was a photo. And that's nothing against the school. It's impossible to put a TV up playing constantly with everybody's state championship match to be like, whoa, look at this match, whatever. But now with the series, we can go to that trophy case at Christian County. We can go to the one at Johnson Central. We can go to the ones at Woodford County, whoever it is, Trinity, St. X, whoever, Union County, and look at it and be like, oh, I see the photo of David Donley. Let's go to Alex's channel. Let's watch Dave Donley's. Oh, man, check this out, man. That's him nowadays. Or, that's Marcus Turnley's. That's Sean Smith's. Wow, man, it's cool to bring the history to life. having an interactive trophy case, if you will, an interactive video library to where wrestling isn't hid anymore. Wrestling isn't just stuck in a gym. It's the most watched, the most viewed, the most accessible. There's not a Kentucky high school sport that is more documented now in 2.5 years. Well, a little bit more than 2 years. We're not to the halfway point yet of the year, but there's not another Kentucky sport that is documented better than Kentucky wrestling. And I love being able to bring it out. I love being the figurehead, the face, the voice of what we've been able to do, because I, for one, got tired of the sport being hid. I, for one, got tired of it being the lowest on the totem pole. And we said, we're going to make our own totem pole. We don't need yours. We can make our own. And it's videos like yours, it's stories like yours that make the series what it is, make the channel what it is, and give people, whether they wrestled against you on the team, they remember you from school, the youngsters at Christian County coming up, they can pull it up and watch and be like, well, if Dave done it, why can't I do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing it, Alex, because shining a light on it, it's really cool. Like you said, now everybody can go out there and kind of see it. I really had the 3 people in the trophy case kind of thing. We had 3 champions before that, those 8 that were on our teams. There were 3 other Christian County state champions, and they were in the trophy case. So you'd sit there and look at them and go, okay, this is who I'm aiming to be. This is who I want to be. But now you can go on, you can just pull up Alex's channel and take a look at everybody and say, wow, this is what I got to do to get there.
Yep. There was 1972 Frank McWilliams, 1979 William G.
Yep.
1981 Williams or Arnold Slaughter.
Arnold Slaughter. Yep.
And was Jimmy Perrin on the team with you then?
Jimmy Perrin Jimmy was a teammate, and everybody else. So Jimmy and all those guys were teammates of mine until Arbel Banks was the last that was a teammate of mine that won state. But
okay,
8 different state champions, 9 championships since Tom won 2.
Yeah, that's a like I said, that's a heck of a roster, man, heck of a lineup. But Dave, man, I believe we've covered about everything that we need to cover. Again, thank you for doing this. I know the Christian County crowd will be glad to see it, and not just Christian County, but the Hoptown crowd, the state of Kentucky as a whole. I'm not sure if our buddy Chuck Reimer will be happy to see it, but Chuck, man, now you got to get on and do your rebuttal video, if you will, because you've got that 87 video to I guess stand, at least make it even, be 1-1 on the series, and I'm sure
too. So
yeah, man, making it twice, that's more than some people have done. You know what I mean? That's more than I can ever say I ever did. But again, man, it's just great that we can do this, and we have the technology and was able to do it. But I believe we've reached a great ending point here. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys, and now we can say girls, we will see you guys and girls on the mats.